Welcome to Animation Debate on our section, Quagmire Quibble, where we get trapped on a trivial matter about a show. For fun, you know? As you may have guessed, this one is about Dragon Ball Z. There's a lot about Dragon Ball Z that I love. The fights, the villains, the amount of inspiring and iconic moments. But one of the things I love the most? Nitpicking every little detail from the Cell Saga. My old friend, the Cell Saga. What can I say about that little rascal? Hard to love, but harder to hate. I could and have spent hours and hours going off about how bad time travel is handled on that arc, but today, I want to explore a topic I haven't given much thought to before. I don't know why, because it's definitely one of the things that has fans most divided on. Fair warning, from here on out is spoilers all around, and the off chance you haven't watched Dragon Ball Z all the way through yet, but still clicked on this video. That being out of the way, let's begin. Today's topic of discussion, Goku giving up against Cell. But instead of taking it at face value and simply deciding whether he should or shouldn't have, or was it the right or wrong decision, let's try to dig deep into the enigma wrapped in the power level that is Son Goku's mind. First of all, we have to face facts. Goku gave up. The hero many of us grew up with, the one that always tried his best, that inspired us, that went through hell and back. Not canonically, but still literally in some filler episodes, just so the Earth and its people could live to see another day. The warrior that was all about testing his limits, while also standing for what he believed was right. And when the Earth needed him most, he uttered those fateful words, to his most heartless foe, no less. But here's what I come to believe is actually happening in that scene after looking back to make this video. You're watching a man who's already decided he's going to die. And he's okay with it. More than okay. He's relieved. The worst part, that silly little plot about having a martial arts tournament with a green cockroach could actually be a story about a father choosing death over facing his own failures. So, join me in this exploration about what's going on in the mind of someone who's supposed to be the strongest person alive, but isn't. Let's focus on the moment Goku comes out of the hyperbolic time chamber with Gohan. Everyone's expecting him to be intense, focused, ready to destroy Cell. Instead, he does something that confuses everyone. He takes it easy. He decides to bask in the calm before the storm. Sure, Master Roshi taught him to have a balanced life, where relaxing and resting and having fun had its place amidst all the training and fighting, but was that really it? Had Goku finally matured and understood the full extent of the Turtle School teachings? I thought so for the longest time, but now I'm not so sure. Let's take a look at the things that make me suspect the most that this isn't the case. First up, his exchange with Vegeta. For the sake of simplicity, let's say that if not friends, they were at the very least cool with each other at this point. They had bonded over being the sole survivors to their knowledge of their race. One was dating the other's best friend, and they found on each other a sparring partner for life, which must be one of the best things for a Saiyan if you ask me. So the taunting we see from Goku seems a little odd. He must have known that was going to throw off Vegeta. And to do that was not on his best interest, given the dire situation they were in. Also, Goku knew he was not as powerful to be boasting and gloating, which brings me to my next point. He sensed it all along. Akira Toriyama did something fascinating in the Cell Saga. He showed us a warrior who'd spent his entire life running toward the next fight, the next challenge, the next transformation, and made us wonder, what happens when that warrior realizes he can't win by getting stronger? Because that's what the hyperbolic time chamber revealed to Goku, and it broke him. The final nail in the coffin? Master Korin's assessment. We're made to believe that the display of their power level only confirmed to Goku that he was right to identify Gohan as Earth's biggest hope. But for the prideful warrior to have the wise cat tell him that after all that hard work, he still wasn't at his enemy's level, saying that must have been devastating is surely an understatement. And he just brushed it off like having a moment of terminal happiness.
If his plan was actually having Gohan defeat Cell, wouldn't he at least disclose such a major decision with his son beforehand? You know, when they had all that downtime before the Cell games and not during the actual battle? We'll go back to this later. Think again about what Goku experienced in that room. An entire year. 365 days of nothing but training with his son. No distractions, no escapes, just constant improvement. And at the end of that year, he achieved something incredible. He and Gohan mastered Super Saiyan to the point where it became their natural state. But there's another side to it. Goku had a full year to think. A full year in isolation with nothing to do but train and reflect. And during that year, he had to confront something he'd been running from his entire life. He wasn't strong enough. Again. And this time, he had not even the slightest idea what to do after hitting that plateau. The Saiyan Saga? He sacrificed himself against Raditz because he wasn't strong enough. His solution? Train in the other world. It worked great. He came back much stronger and full of teachings from King Kai that made him go all the way to facing Emperor Frieza and eventually defeating him with his newfound transformation. But then the Android Saga begins and something changes. Goku gets sick, the heart virus. For the first time in his life, his enemy isn't something he can punch, it's his own body. He's helpless, bedridden while his friends fight without him. And when he finally recovers, he has to face the reality that even at full strength, even with training, Cell might be unbeatable. Goku starts acting a little off character after that, but it's understandable. His entire worldview is shattered.
What's Goku's greatest strength? Is it his power level? His transformations? His fighting instinct? No. Goku's greatest strength has always been his resilience. He adapts faster than anyone, learns techniques instantly, breaks through limits that should be impossible. The entire series is built on this. Goku finds a way. Except in the hyperbolic time chamber, for the first time ever, he hit a ceiling. He pushed himself and Gohan to Super Saiyan mastery, achieved a level of power that should have been enough, and knew it wasn't. He could feel it. Cell was still beyond him. And let's face it, by this point, Goku was an addict. Not to drugs or alcohol, of course, maybe to food, but that's beside the point. To progress, to improvement, to that rush of breaking through a new barrier. Every major arc of Dragon Ball follows the same pattern. Goku faces someone stronger, struggles, finds a new technique or transformation, wins. That dopamine hit of achievement is what drives him. It's why he's always seeking out strong opponents. And he learned to embrace that side of himself even more after learning about his Saiyan heritage. Only this time, that addiction met reality. He maxed out. And when an addict realizes their drug doesn't work anymore, something inside them breaks. Going back to not discussing his plan with anyone, they make it sound strategic, like Goku's just being tactical, but I believe it's different. It's resignation. It's a father admitting defeat and placing the burden on his child. Now think about what that means. Goku, who has spent most of Gohan's life being an absent father, dead, training, or off-planet for most of it, comes out of a year of intense bonding with his son, and his solution to the Cell problem is, my 11-year-old will handle it? That's not strategy. That's abdication. All that time, Gohan wondered why Goku was holding back his true power, because he couldn't even begin to fathom the idea that his father, the greatest hero of all, was actually weaker than him. And it's not like Goku forgot that Gohan didn't like to fight and needed more mental preparation if he was to be the deciding factor. But if Goku told the truth, I'm training you to replace me because I've already decided to die, even he would have to confront how messed up that is. Before you chalk it up to Saiyan pride and wanting to at least try to defeat Cell on his own, Goku doesn't have that to the pathological degree at which other characters like Vegeta has. At least not at this point, and even when he does fully make peace with his roots, that always took a back seat to his morals. If this wasn't the case, he couldn't have stopped mid-fight. Vegeta's surprise and comments reinforced this. And so, the timing becomes even more suspicious. Let's take a look at the fight itself.
Goku versus Cell one-on-one, the moment everyone's been waiting for. And Goku gives up. He literally forfeits. In the middle of the fight, he says, "I can't win," and tags out. Fans debate this scene endlessly. Was Goku right? Could he have won if he kept fighting? Did he quit too early? But here's what makes the scene so brilliant and so tragic. Goku's not analyzing the fight objectively. He's looking for an excuse. Watch his body language in that moment. The fight is taking its toll, but he's not completely exhausted. He's not injured beyond recovery. Cell even seems surprised. He was having fun, wanted to keep going. Goku is the one who caused it. Because this is what he planned all along. Everything, the training, the Master Super Saiyan form, the 10 days of family bonding was leading to this moment where he could step aside with his dignity intact and hand the burden to someone else. The result? It works. Gohan does awaken his hidden power. Gohan does defeat Cell, which means Goku gets to die again while being right, while being the hero who made the ultimate sacrifice, while being remembered as the father who believed in the son's potential. So then, if it all worked out, why do I say that it wasn't a good strategy? Because of a couple of key points that keep this from having sense. The first clue is Goku didn't know Cell was going to try and self-destruct, making his instant transmission the only answer to that, and so the second clue becomes what we talked about before, his moral compass taking precedence to his warrior's honor. I believe Goku planned to be defeated by Cell, to fight until the end and have the ending he wanted, while also ensuring he triggered Gohan's anger for the final component of his plan. But then his moral compass kicked in and realized this didn't make sense if saving the Earth was top priority. And what evidence is there of this? The fact that they went along with the Cell games at first. The old Goku, the one that wasn't broken yet, would have tricked his enemy and taken advantage of his twisted need to prove itself, and found a way to make everyone's combined strength, well, Vegeta wouldn't have cooperated, but they had enough help, into a surefire way to defeat Cell. He even fully trusted Daimao's son, his sworn enemy at the time, just so they had a shot at defeating Raditz before. And then Vegeta after that during the Namek Saga. Why not now? Why not trust in your own son, at least?
Another odd behavior from Goku, which further cements this idea, the time before the Cell games. He's on borrowed time, and borrowed time is easy. It's permanent life that's terrifying. Watch his interactions. He's attentive, kind, engaged, more present than we've ever seen him. He spends time with Gohan and Chi-Chi. He visits his friends. He's saying goodbye, but nobody realizes it because it looks like he's finally grown up and accepted his role. But it's a performance. Or maybe not even a performance. Maybe it's genuine, but only possible because he knows it has an expiration date. He is acting like the pressure of the future is removed, because for him, it is. Goku realizes during his fight that this plan wasn't to be, but then he gets a second chance. When Cell was starting his self-destructing sequence, Goku immediately jumps to the conclusion, "I'll take him to King Kai's planet and die there." That moment is either the universe giving Goku exactly what he wanted, or it's Goku's subconscious creating a situation where his desired outcome became necessary. Think about it. Goku had a split second to make a decision. In a moment of crisis, your brain defaults to your actual desires. And Goku's brain went immediately to self-sacrifice. Not because it was the only option, but because it was the option he'd been looking for the entire arc. So then, the final decision that seals it, he chooses to stay dead. For 7 years, he makes excuses for why he can't come back to life, why Earth is safer without him, why Gohan should be the protector now. And it's all bull. What makes this so compelling is that the show treats it as heroic. And in the context of shonen anime, it is. Self-sacrifice is the ultimate expression of love and duty. But if you look at it through a psychological lens, it's a man running from his problems by quite literally removing himself from existence. The Cell Saga might be secretly the darkest arc in Dragon Ball Z. Not because of the body count or the stakes, but because it's about a hero who breaks and nobody notices. Everyone around him sees confidence, strategy, trust in his son. But what we're actually watching is a man who's lost the ability to see a future for himself and is checking out in the most noble-looking way possible. And you know what?
The Cell Saga gave us the most human version of Goku we've ever seen. We just didn't realize it because he was smiling the whole time. Facing that moment where the thing that always worked doesn't work anymore, where he's hit the ceiling, where he realized he might not be the hero the Earth needed. Maybe that's the time Goku needed us to raise our hands and share our energy the most. That's all for this Quagmire Quibble. Can't thank you enough if you've watched until this point. Let me know in the comments what you think, and let me know if there's something you'd like for me to take a look at next.